TechTale 77, and today is 7/7, July 7th, 2021. On a Wednesday morning, 6:23 a.m. Good morning to you. So reading time slips from my actual billable work for my clients. Point behind doing this series of videos is for people who are in the tech support business or thinking about being in the tech support business. For those that are in the business, everybody does their billing different. Everybody does their time slips different. This is just an example of how I do it. That might put a different light on the way somebody else does it. But I think probably the most significant is for people who are thinking of a career in IT. This is pretty much the reality for an IT support person providing support to small businesses and individuals. If you're providing support to large businesses, it's a very different work environment than what I do. So starting with the apartment building mic on Wednesday, June 30th for 6 minutes, 7:35 to 7:41 p.m., Community Center Computers. Resident Computer 2 detected and cleaned 27 infections. Resident 1 scan still running. Now, that's these two computers right here. This one currently I have labeled as Mike Tango, meaning the apartment building Mike. It's actually Mike Tango. I have this labeled as 1. Turns out it's actually number 2. And that one over there is 1 based upon what infections I see or what state I see in them now. And I've been doing work on those during live streams to reset them up the way that we want for residents, because those scans didn't help. So then the next time slip is for Thursday, July 1st, 8 minutes, also for the apartment building mic. 9:38 to 9:46 a.m. with Delta in that office. Discussed community center computers. We'll pick them up for lab work. Fixed QuickBooks backup. So the community center computers, you understand that well enough. QuickBooks backup, when Delta goes into QuickBooks, opens a company file, and then exit, we have it programmed to automatically do a backup, automatically prompt for a backup. Well, it had lost the location, lost awareness of where we want those stored. And the location that we're storing those in is a OneDrive folder. So we're creating a backup to a OneDrive folder that gets backed up to the cloud. And that's how we do backups for that. In that office, we don't have any external backup. And the reason for that is because their main resident database is an online system, so they don't have the data for that. And then for QuickBooks, it's sufficient to have a cloud backup with on OneDrive, and that actually happens from 2 separate computers, 2 computers that are networked together. For QuickBooks, the QuickBooks company file is actually not stored on Delta's computer. It's stored on Lima's computer. And when Lima exits the program, she's prompted to do a backup, and the backup is stored in her OneDrive folder and stores in the cloud to her OneDrive. Lima is the business manager at a higher level than Delta. Delta does most of the bookkeeping work. So when Delta works on it, the data file is being accessed through the network. When Delta does a backup, that stores a backup of that company file on her computer. So because that's going over the network, her backups take a little bit longer for them to run than Lima's. It's not an issue, it's still less than a minute. But the point is that both of them are performing backups every time they exit from QuickBooks. Then the next one is for the law office Mike, July 1st, 12 minutes, 9:52 to 10:04 a.m. Romeo, the attorney's wife, phone discussion regarding using email address, and then we're specifying the individual's name for the new assistant for the attorney at their company name, custom domain, instead of that generic name. Because remember, I told you the generic email address was glm.assistant at, and then their custom domain name. When Romeo, subsequent to my conversation with Romeo, she described what we're going to do to the attorney. He didn't like it. He was quoted as saying, "I've never heard any other attorney's office use a generic email address for their assistant or anyone in the office. I'm not comfortable with that." Which I can get. I get it. I understand that. Can you imagine the conversation between two attorneys at a hearing or at a seminar or something, and our guy says to the other guy, have your assistant contact my assistant. All right, what's your assistant's address, email address? And he gives it with this generic name, glm.assistant. Well, why do you have it that way? Well, because we can't keep assistants very long. They just have a high turnover. That's not a good image, right? So it's not a big deal, actually, to change the email address and have the email address specific to the person, because the computer can still log in with generic credentials. The server can have a generic credential. The copy machine can have a generic credential. So if they hire somebody else for that position, they just sit them down at the desk and they can hit the ground running. And all that needs to happen is I go into GoDaddy and actually just change the name for that email account, not create a new one. The reason for changing the name instead of creating a new one is that the existing account has already a bunch of aliases associated with it. And if I change the name of the account, GoDaddy automatically continues delivering that prior email account name to the new email account name. I don't even have to create an alias for it. So that's going to be a smooth way to work. It's fine. Moving on to the next time slip, also the law office Mike. On Friday, July 2nd, 7 minutes, 8:40 a.m. to 8:47 a.m. And this time slip is charged to the new staff person. Now, as a reminder, I had reconfigured this computer for a new assistant for the attorney, and then in about a week later did that again because that first new assistant did not stick. So changed email account in GoDaddy admin panel from the generic name to the specific username. That's 7 minutes. That's all that was, just in the GoDaddy admin panel. Okay, I think that'll do it for this time slip. I have a live stream scheduled this afternoon, 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, with Ken Stout, and he's going to update us on the status of his mom's computer, and he's going to update us on the status of the new custom computer that he built for himself. I think that was last weekend. Yeah, I think so. So perhaps we'll see you there. Hope this was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.